From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they actually love, and create actual, real, amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, star of the new YouTube sensation channel called, oddly enough, the George Camel channel.
Real creative.
Yes, very creative. And co-host of the exploding popular podcast and YouTube show, Smart Money Happy Hour with our own Rachel Cruz, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Jane starts this hour in Chicago. Hi, Jane. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm trying to get some advice on whether or not I should buy another used car or buy a new car. I have a 2012 Hyundai Sonata now. I've already paid $4,000 in repairs, and the car is still not fixed. It's overheating. I've been kind of getting to run around with mechanics, and I just don't want to keep dumping money into the car. I got it from an auction, so it's a salvage title. There's that. I don't know if that makes a difference. I have about $90,000 between a CD, which doesn't mature until April of next year. I have a Roth, and probably about $60,000 that's liquid. So I was just going to buy like a Toyota Camry for $30,000, but I didn't know if it was smart to buy a car cash or what to do.
That is the only smart thing to do when it comes to cars. So do you have any debt whatsoever?
No, I have no debt. Well, I have a mortgage.
Okay. And then what's your income?
After taxes, $40,000.
I would not buy a $30,000 car if I made $40,000. That's just too much of your world tied up in that depreciating asset. Is there something in between we could get, like a $15,000 car, and we sell off the Santa Fe for what we can get for it?
Yeah, I could. I didn't know how reliable.
Hey, Jane.
Yeah, I want to.
Hey, Jane.
Yes.
You're pissed off and sick of your car breaking down, and that frustration is getting ready to cause you to overdo this decision.
Okay.
I don't blame you. Nothing makes you more mad than sitting on the side of the dadgum road or taking something back to get it fixed 4 times and it's still not fixed. That's enough to make you do something stupid, and you're about to if you're not careful.
Okay.
Just because you're mad. I don't blame you for being frustrated. What you're going through is frustrating, but you don't go from a $2,000 car to a $30,000 car in one fell swoop when you make $40,000. That's in the column of dumb, girl. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
Just because you're mad. I get it, okay? You want something that when I turn the key, it by God starts, don't you?
Yes.
And you can get that for less than $30,000, honey. So here's the overall thing you got to think of when you're making decisions like this. What do people who have millions of dollars who started with nothing, what did they do in situations like this? And we've actually studied them, over 10,000 millionaires that we studied, and they did not buy brand new vehicles before they had at least $1 million in net worth. Because brand new vehicles go down in value. Like George just pointed out to you, you're going to have too much of your life point, because that 30 is going to turn into 15 in about 20 seconds. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cars go down in value like a rock. That's why Chevy has that commercial, like a rock. You know what I'm saying? So you can get you a really nice used car in the smart column for $10,000 or $15,000. That is going to be a bazillion times better than that piece of crap you've been dealing with. And I don't blame you for getting rid of it. And you've got the money to pay cash for it. And of course you pay cash for it. Car payments are what middle class people do. And it's not a bad thing. But if you want to be middle class, keep a car payment. It pretty much guarantees you're always going to be middle class from a wealth building perspective, because you just always got a car payment. And it's the middle class thing of stupid. And rich people do some stupid things. Middle class people do stupid stuff. Poor people do stupid stuff. But it's different stupid stuff. And the middle class one is the car payment. That's the one mathematically that takes you down. So please pay cash, and please buy you a nice used car for under $20,000, preferably like George suggested around.
With a clean title this time.
Yeah, no salvage
And get
title.
it inspected. Get a pre-purchase inspection. It'll cost you $100 and it'll give you peace of mind.
Yeah, you want to get something where you do turn the key and it turns on. But you can get a wonderful vehicle right now for $15,000 that will drive you for the next decade. A wonderful vehicle. And there's lots of, the thing is, the way they build cars now, they last if you take care of them. Now, not necessarily if they've been in a flood or whatever this salvage situation was that caused this thing to have an overheating problem that they can't figure out, and its electronic brain is probably fried or whatever it is. But, yeah, no salvage title. Don't look for the wrong kind of bargain. Look for something that is dependable, low miles, and that it just screams it's going to. And let me see, you said a Toyota Camry? Hey, a $15,000 Camry right now, that's a great car.
It might be 10 years old and it'll last another 10 or 20.
Car. Yeah, I mean, you can get a lot of American-made stuff, a lot of foreign-made stuff that is, and for that matter, half the foreign-made stuff is now made in America.
It's all a weird mix.
Yeah, Toyota truck plant is all made here, so there you go. Nissan made right here outside of Nashville. So, you just, who makes what anymore? But anyway, the point being, not waving a flag, but the point being, just get something that works and that is consistent. And, George, it's important to point out to everybody that it's not just Jane. We all have this thing of, we do two things in our culture. We say three things. I'll throw in a third one while I'm thinking of off the top of my head here. Safety, reliability, and status cause us to buy way more vehicle than you can afford. And your car is safe, and it is reliable, and no, it doesn't have any status, so shut up. But so what? If you attract people into your life because of what you drive, you did not attract quality humans.
And when you have a kid, you don't need to go buy a Tahoe for the kid. That often happens. They go, Dave, we got kids now. We got to get the most gigantic, expensive SUV for the kid.
I thought you were going to give the 16-year-old a Tahoe.
Well, a guy called the other day. He had a hoopty car, engine transmission issues, and he went and financed a $60,000 car.
Yeah,
because of his car issues.
Made that same. That's another hint. Okay, unless you suddenly inherited $2 million, you don't need to make a jump 10x in your car. So if your car is worth $3,000 and you're jumping to 30, hint, you're probably screwing up. And Jane's point, I made that point to her too. Okay, I've done all of this stuff. That's how I know. I've done stupid with zeros on the end. I have a PhD in DUMB, people. That's how I know it. So we're here with you. We're walking with you. We're just a little further down the road than some of you. That's why we do this show.
Good pun.
This is the Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Honored to have Entree Leadership Summit full of great thought leaders next week. Great people talking about leadership and talking about business. I'm really excited to be with about 3,000 folks. One of the folks I'm excited to be with is one of our speakers, Dr. Jordan Peterson, author of the huge bestseller, 12 Rules of Life, and personal terrorizer of all things Twitter. Looking forward to getting to spend some time with him, and we wanted to have him on today to talk just a little bit. Welcome, Dr. Peterson. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. We're excited to have you next week. Thanks for coming.
Hey, my pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
You've been on the road, Europe, it looks like, all over the place, huh?
Yeah, for a long time. I don't know. We've been to 400 cities, my wife and I, something like that in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a brutal run, it looks like. So Nashville will be one of the stops on stateside, as we said, next week. So with these leadership guys talking next week, what is the plan for your keynote? What are you going to be talking about?
Probably about vision. And I thought that's something we could discuss today in principle as well.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I've looked at a lot of the stuff and a lot of your comments, not only on wealth inequality issues, but also just on the psychology of handling money. One of the things we say around Ramsey all the time is personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge, and getting the guy in the mirror to behave is the battle. And you've got a lot to say on that subject. So talk about what you've discovered around the correlation between just a mental stability, a mental maturity, mental health maturity, and that how that correlates to wealth.
Well, it's easy to presume that the reason people are poor is because they don't have enough money. But that's an oversimplification. Very few complex things are attributable to a single cause. I had lots of clients who were much better off when they had no money at all. Those were often people who had addiction problems, because as soon as they had any money at all, they're just in the bar and into the cocaine until they were face down in a ditch. And so there's all sorts of causes of poverty, and certainly one form of poverty and one cause of poverty is absence of a plan. I mean, you need to develop a vision for your life, and that makes delaying gratification, for example, and not engaging in impulsive momentary pleasure worthwhile, because you're building towards something that you actually want to attain. And we're very, very bad in our society, like appallingly and miraculously bad at helping people develop a vision. We don't do it with students in school, for example, not at all. And it's really, like I said, it's a miracle of stupidity. So it truly is. It's the number one thing we should be teaching people, and we don't do it at all. Who do you want to be and why? What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? What are you building towards? Why are you in gratification, assuming you are? Why are you saving, for example, or working? Like, what's your vision? What makes it worthwhile? And how do you even come up with a notion like that?
And the strange thing is when you have a vision that's very, very clear and high definition, burnout just kind of goes away. You get tired. Like, your schedule has been horrendous, but you're not burnt out. You're probably tired, but you're not burnt out.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, all the positive emotion we feel, that except for the type that is just a consequence of basic satisfaction, the sort of satisfaction you might have after a big meal, all the enthusiasm and excitement and hope and curiosity, essential meaning in life, all of that is experienced in relationship to a goal. When you see yourself moving towards a goal, then you're inspired. You have hope, you have enthusiasm, you have energy. You can communicate effectively and enthusiastically. No goal, you have none of that. No vision, no goal. So you're not going to get tired and feel, what would you say, hard done by, if your sacrifices and the difficult things that you're endeavoring to do are clearly worthwhile by your own definition. And one of the things I do, I have an exercise online it's at selfauthoring.com called Future Authoring. And we built this to help people develop a vision. And one of the things we ask people to do is just to sit for 15 minutes, write for 15 minutes. Badly, here's the game. Imagine you were taking care of yourself like someone you cared for. So imagine someone you care for and pretend that's you. Maybe it's a son or a daughter or a friend. Now imagine 5 years down the road. You can have what you want and need. You can be who you are, but you have to figure out what it is. What is it? What do you want? What do you need? And don't worry about getting it right. Just get it down for 15 minutes. That's a good start. The whole exercise you can do in about 90 minutes, but we had students do that, say, before they went to university. And just doing it for 90 minutes, developing that vision, dropped their dropout rate 90 or 50%, 50%, and increased their grade point average 35%. And that just shows you how badly it had been done before, because students went to university with no vision. They had no idea what they were doing there. And so, of course, half of them didn't succeed because they had no idea why they were doing anything. Well, that's not helpful or wise. And the reason that's the case, by the way, is because our school system was set up to produce mindless, obedient workers essentially by fascists at the end of the 1800s. And that's well documented historically. It was based on the Prussian military model, and they wanted to produce obedient soldiers. And we haven't updated our notion of what schools are for 140 years.
Yeah. Ken Coleman says we've not made pathfinders, we've made test takers.
If that, we're not even very good at that.
Well, Dr. Peterson, I'm curious.
Pathfinders.
We have so many similar principles. We want to help people avoid the pitfalls of education and debt, and we're both kind of truth tellers in a world gone mad, and that can be countercultural, controversial, offensive at times. What is the secret sauce to really connecting with those people and getting them to change a paradigm and actually getting out of debt or doing that hard thing?
Well, I think a huge part of that is to get them to start conceptualizing themselves as people who could be pursuing a goal that they found compelling, rather than people who are driven by circumstances. I think it's 35-40% of young Americans now feel they have no agency in their life. And you say, well, how do you have to entice people into, I suppose, the hypothesis of a vision. And you do that with, well, this meditative exercise, for example, that I described. Just imagine for a moment that you could have what you needed and wanted. And I mean, literally imagine that. Daydream like you did when you were a kid. Now, you want to bind that with a little bit of intelligent rationality. You don't want to be, if you're starting from scratch, maybe you don't want to be thinking that in 5 years you're going to inhabit a 350-room mansion, in Malibu. Although stranger things have happened to people, you want to develop your vision within the realm of possibility, but that doesn't. And you should be honest enough with yourself so it's actually something compelling to you. The other thing we ask people to do, and I'm talking about this because it's very practical, is you might say, well, I don't know what I want. It's like, okay, well, what other people have that seems to work for them? You probably want a relationship. What's your vision for that? You probably want to have something approximating a family of some sort. What's your vision for that? Even if it's your parents, not children necessarily, not even a wife necessarily, some family connections, some friendships, some job or career, some educational goals, some strategy for dealing with temptations. That's 5 things. Some conception of how you would use your time intelligently outside of work. Some conception of how you might, what would you say, uphold your civic responsibility.
Yeah.
There's sources of meaning that people generally have.
Dr. Peterson, we are so looking forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for taking time out of your crazy schedule and spending a minute with us. Look forward to continuing this discussion a bunch. Thanks for coming on with us.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation.
This is The Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. I was trying to give Dr. Peterson as much room as I could in that segment because he always has a lot of pretty interesting things to say. Always keeps you on your toes for sure. And but I blew it in the process of doing that because I'm supposed to remind you guys out there that Entree Leadership Summit is next week and it is sold out. So if you don't have a ticket, you're not coming. Sorry about the FOMO, but it's 3,200 folks, and it's Malcolm Gladwell, Willie Robertson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, me, Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, many others, Brian Buffini, several other people speaking and teaching on leadership for 3 or 4 days in a row there at the Great Opryland Hotel Resort. And the bad news is you're not coming if you don't have a ticket. The good news is you can actually watch it if you want to see one of the premier leadership events in the world right now, including Dr. Peterson's presentation. You can actually watch it on a live stream, and you can purchase that. And you can do that from us at RamseySolutions.com. Just click on Entree Leadership Summit, and it will take you to the live stream, and there we'll go from there. So, George, car payments...
We talked about this earlier.
Equal retirement.
They're costing people a whole lot of wealth. And all your life, people have heard it's normal to have a car payment. But hear me out. The average car payment in America right now is around $600 a month, higher in some studies. And if you invested that instead each month into your 401k, a Roth IRA, you could retire with, get this, more than $7.1 million after 40 years of not having a car payment.
So age 25 to age 65, $7 million. So, George, if you're half wrong, they'd still be okay.
That's still a good life, and you're still debt-free with no car payment. And that's why most millionaires, they pay cash for used, reliable cars and never lease or buy new. You see, building wealth is not some secret. You can learn the same plan that millions have used to pay off their debt, build wealth, and invest. And it's all in Dave Ramsey's best-selling books, The Total Money Makeover, and his newest, Baby Steps Millionaires. And even better news, you can get them today for just $10 each in our $10 sale. That's pretty wild.
Pretty cool. All at RamseySolutions.com. Don't miss it out. And almost all of our books, Deloney's, Rachel's, Coleman's, that are #1 bestsellers, all they're on sale for $10 right now. So check them out.
We've risen above inflation somehow here, Dave.
Yeah, that sale doesn't last. Well, not for long, because I did declare in a meeting the other day.
It's the $11 sale next year, guys.
No, it's going to be more than that, because our paper cost has gone through the roof. And, man, it's costing us almost double what it used to cost us to build a book now.
Wow.
So
get it while you can then.
Yeah. Welcome to
owning a business.
Welcome to businesses passing along inflation to you.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Sorry.
Except for the Costco hot dog. Somehow they're still trucking along.
Well, I think that's just a national treasure. All right, let's go to Andrew in San Jose. Hey, Andrew, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
So, we've been working through Baby Step 2 for about 4 months and doing decent with it so far. But me and my wife are debating about having a birthday party for our 2 kids, as her sister, who doesn't come down very often, is going to be over about 2 months, which lines up with that. Should I argue with her about it, or should I just shut up and put it in the budget?
I'm sorry. You're arguing about a birthday party for your children, whether you can afford that.
Yes, basically.
What are you
Should I do it
spending
or not when
on?
we're
What are you
paid off debt?
spending on a birthday party for children?
Not tons, but I'm just in
what's
step
a ton?
two.
Is
I'm
it $50
just
or
doing
$500?
a couple $100 probably. Like probably up to 4 to 5 probably on the range.
And these children are how old?
There will be 1 and 8.
Okay. All right. Well, so the 1-year-old birthday party is really for the adults.
No, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. And so I,
Are people invited to this, a big party? You're inviting a lot of people, or is this more just for the family?
Family.
Okay.
Family.
does your wife cook?
She could.
So she could like make a cake. Like my mom did for
probably
my
get
birthday.
one.
I never had a store-bought cake until I was in college. I didn't know you could get a cake at the store. I didn't know that was an option. And I haven't said that one time to a therapist. I've made it okay. So I mean, good old Duncan Hines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think you could have a whale of a party for $100 if you kind of put your heads together. Yes, I think you ought to have a birthday party for your children, but do we have to have 6 dancing ponies that cost $2,000? No,
We'll
we do
have to
not.
skip the petting zoo and the inflatables this year.
Okay, so
I'd
you're
set
saying just go with something more reasonable is the way to do it.
Go to the dollar store and get some cheap decor and plates. It'll cost you $5.
Hey, and let me tell you what happens with Sharon and me too, is we start arguing about concepts and we've actually end up with actual similar numbers in our heads. Like she's got this big party in her mind. For instance, maybe you got a small party in your mind, and if you actually sat down and wrote out what you were going to spend, both of you probably wouldn't be that far apart. How could we do the part? A good question would be, I think a party is very important. This is you talking to your wife. I think a party is very important. It's really important for a 1-year-old that we celebrate that. You only get one of those. We don't want to miss out on that. Okay. And so let's have a big party. How can we do that given that we have this goal of trying to remain reasonable with our budgeting? And so what are you thinking of spending? And how can we get a lot of bang for our buck, and I'll help. I'll get out the directions and bake a cake. If you could do that, it wouldn't kill you. And I could probably pull it off, and I'm really suck in the kitchen, but I could probably pull off a cake. Might take a couple tries, but it'd still be cheaper than buying one.
Dave just auditioned for the Great British Bake Off. It just happened.
There's a thing called the British Bake Off.
It's big on Netflix. The kids watch it.
Okay. Well,
But Andrew, the key
cool
here
people,
is you don't
cool
want it to
people.
set you back on your debt-free journey.
You might
and
be
you can
closer
get
than
real
you think
creative.
you are when you have a discussion. That's not about do a party or not do a party. It's more about what do we spend on a party that is reasonable. And when Sharon and I start doing that, she's kind of talking in these flowery terms about buying, redecorating the home. And I'm like, okay, crap, I just heard $200,000. And she's thinking $2,000. I just wanted another thing in there, And I'm like, oh, I should have shut up and listened. Okay. Because she said redecorate. I heard 200. She was saying, 2,000 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's
sometimes you
communication.
miss each other because all I hear is one thing in my head goes, warning, warning, warning. Yeah, you
Dig
heard,
into the details.
you heard party and you went, my budget is busted. I'm trashed. Dave Ramsey's going to come to my house and hit me with a baseball bat. No, none of that's true. Okay, it's not going to happen.
Well, you can go to Costco and get 2 pizzas and a sheet cake for like $30 and call it a day.
See, now there you went buying cakes again. You can get a sheet cake at Costco for $30.
Yeah, they put your face on it. Whatever you want to do, they'll do it.
How is it that you know this, George?
I've been known to shop at Costco.
To put your face on a
You can do
on a
anything.
cake. A George cake.
Dave, I'm sure people have sent you cakes with your face on it. Has that not happened yet?
We didn't eat those. No, that's not edible.
There's something
food.
weird about cutting into your own face and then eating it.
It's
uncomfortable.
It's just I worry about what's in that cake.
But how do you grapple with folks that are in baby step 2 and things come up? We had one about a quinceañera, and she was going to spend $8,000 because she needed to go on the cruise for her niece for the quinceañera, and we said,
Nope.
You're not going on the cruise.
Nope.
So what are the boundary conversations you need to have? What are the financial pieces that you need to go, all right,
Well, I mean,
set a budget?
What if you had to do something you really couldn't afford? What would you say?
I'd go make the money to do it.
Okay, in order to make the 16-year-old niece happy, you need to buy her a $600,000 Bentley. You would go, Well, that's stupid. Of course I'm not doing that. A, I don't have $600,000. B, I don't have a Bentley, so she's sure not getting one. So C, I hadn't been on a cruise, so I'm sure not going on one for you, and I don't have $8,000 because I'm broke people in debt. But you gotta extrapolate this stuff in your mind to go the absurdity of the request. If you just pan back and go, what if it was add a zero to it? You would go, well, no. Well, that's the way we're looking at it when you bring up something like spending $8,000 on a child's cruise while you're broke. Now we know why you're broke. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thanks for joining us. If you want to understand a little bit more about what's going on with all things Ramsey, we got a little free process to help you. Just go to RamseySolutions.com. Click the Get Started button. It'll help you ascertain where you are and what the next steps are to get where you want to be. Yeah, that's how that works. So get started at RamseySolutions.com. Of course, completely free. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, my co-host today. And Matt is in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Matt, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I recently discovered your show and really can't get enough, so thank you.
Thank you.
I'm 52. Yeah, I'm 52. My wife is 47, and our household take-home is roughly $8,000 a month. We have a $34,000 in an IRA. Instead of traditional investing, we've gone the real estate route and currently have mortgages on 3 homes. One is a primary residence and 2 are rentals. And just need some advice. I up until I discovered you guys, this was our pretty solid plan. But is it too late to go the traditional investing route, or?
No. And it's not necessary that you only do the traditional investing route. I've got a bunch of real estate. As a matter of fact, I have more real estate than I have mutual funds because I love real estate like you do. And so, as long as we're building wealth somewhere, we're certainly not going to be out of there. What I would want to do is I would want to lean in and have a plan to knock those mortgages out sooner rather than later without panicking about it. So what are the balances on these puppies?
Let's see. Primary residence, $315. Rental number 1 is $200,000, and then rental number 2 is $225,000.
Okay. All right.
We can pay them off in 15 years.
You can probably pay them off a lot faster than that. Probably pay them off in about 8 if you lean into it a little bit. And so I would start. I mean, you throw your rents back at it. Number one, you ought to be getting substantial rents on these things. What's the $200,000 mortgaged rental worth?
Worth about $300 right now.
Okay, you're not making much on that one. What's the $225 rental worth?
That's worth about $350. We added a bathroom and did some stuff on that. Yeah,
you're not cash flowing a ton on either one of these. You're making money, but you're not like bailing it or anything.
No, these were recent acquisitions, and our plan is to have them paid off in 15 years.
Yeah, and you can work that, but I would work towards paying them off faster. I certainly wouldn't add any more to this because you don't have enough equity in these things for them to be making a ton of money. They're, this will work out for you, but it's not going to for a while. It's gonna be you're gonna be spinning your wheels for a little while because you just don't have any margin in these things. There's not enough equity for you to have big cash flow, and if you don't have big cash flow, you're not making big money. Translation,
Right.
every dollar you've put into this is not getting an ROI yet, except in increased value. But you're not getting cash-on-cash ROIs, not to amount to anything.
Do you guys have any other debt?
We do have a car loan at $15,000, but other than that, no credit card debt.
What's your cash
We have
position, you said?
We have about $12,000 in the bank right now.
Okay. Well, first thing is you got to get your emergency fund up because you're sitting on a lot of debt and a lot of potential problems with no cash. You get
Right.
2 or 3 heat and airs go out, or 2 heat and airs go out and a water heater blow between these 3 properties in a short period of span, you got a problem. You're going to be looking at debt.
Yeah.
Do you love both rentals? Or is there one of them that gives you a headache that you wouldn't mind selling?
You just got them.
I mean, we've had them for a couple of years, or a year and a half. Do we love them? Yeah, one of them we really love. We're going to move into at some point, but the other one is just a rental.
Yeah. Well, point being, if you want to hold these, if you want to clear them, that's fine. Get rid of them. You're not going to lose much. If you want to play through on your plan, what you do need to do is continue to follow the baby steps. Get your emergency fund up. You need a pretty substantial cash position to be holding this kind of property, probably $75,000, and you're sitting on 12. And because you've just got a lot of exposure that's going to have cash needs. And the problem is these things all come in threes. Believe me, I've been managing property for 40 years. And so it's just, it's always the perfect freaking storm. Basement leak, stupid car runs through the fence. I mean, it's something. When you own property, it goes with the territory. I love real estate, but it is a hassle compared to owning mutual funds. So number one, get your emergency fund up. Then number two, I would start with a 2-pronged approach of getting these paid down pretty aggressively, and also let's reach over and start that 15% going into retirement.
And get rid of this car debt.
Oh, definitely. Car debt's got to go before we do anything. That's you can get rid of that tomorrow. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, not the car, but the car debt. So first, work your baby steps, man. You just start listening. Baby step 1's $1,000 saved. You've done that. 2 is debt free, but the house. Need to knock out the car, like George said. 3 is 3 to 6 months of expenses saved for emergencies. In your case, I'm going to jack that on up to 75 because you got heavy expenses with these rentals that you don't have a cash position to cover. Then 4 is we start to put 15% of our income into retirement. You work all of that for the next 15 years. You're going to have a bunch of paid for property, and you're going to have a pile of cash over in mutual funds also, and you're going to be in really good shape. But you're going to have to lean into it and be very intentional. Sometimes when people first start buying property, and you're a little bit further into this, you're not brand new, but we feel like it's magic and it's automatically works, and it's anything but magic and anything but automatic.
Well, everyone says it's passive income, Dave.
There's
I saw a
nothing
TikTok.
passive about anybody that says real estate's passive income's never managed real estate. There's nothing passive about it. It's freaking active as it can be. That's an absurd butt statement when people say that. That's somebody selling a get-rich-quick thing on TikTok. That's all that is. It's just not even real. All right, Amanda is in Cincinnati. Hey, Amanda, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for speaking with me.
Sure, what's up?
So I've been listening for a couple months and trying to implement what I've been hearing. So my husband and I had whole life policies, so we got rid of those.
Good.
We went with standard, got term and policies, and we have 3 children, 6 and under, so we did the rider for the children.
Good.
But we have a whole life policy we were talked into getting for my oldest son when he was an infant. And it's 15 years pay, and we are 6 years in. So should we get rid of that also?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely sucks. Yeah, the money you put into it, you're going to get very little out of. It has a horrible rate of return. It is not good for saving money, and it's not good for insurance. You got him covered for insurance now with a rider, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so now it's just the question is a whole life policy a good investment? To which everyone in the financial planning world that doesn't sell that crap is laughing. Of course it's not a good investment. It's a horrible investment. Much better off to take any money you get out of that policy and any money you are putting into it monthly and put that in a good mutual fund in a 529 for his college.
I thought, Dave, that whole life policies were going to start to die off, but it's only gotten louder with social media and index universal life and infinite banking and all these concepts now that are being touted.
Those aren't new, though. Those are 40-year-old ideas.
They're making them fancy and slick now with 1 minute videos.
Put them on TikTok with somebody with good hair, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. But, you know, it's the same old crap. You know, yes, Amanda, to answer your question, honey, get rid of your whole life policies. You've got the child coverage. You don't even really need child coverage except enough to bury them if, God forbid, something happens, because they're not creating an income that the household is dependent upon. You, however, are creating an income that the household is dependent upon. You need to replace that income with a big term life policy, 10 to 12 times your income. So you make $50,000, you need $500,000 to $600,000 on you to invest. That would then create $50,000 and replace the income that is lost with the death of an income-producing adult. Children do not need life insurance except enough for, quote, final expenses, we call it, to not have to save.
And insurance is not an investment. Don't believe anyone who says it is.
Never. Listen, you don't get your muffler fixed at the transmission store. Don't go to life insurance people to do investing. Seriously, no thank you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey personality, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour with Rachel Cruz, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Lisa is in Indianapolis. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi. Oh, my goodness. I'm really nervous.
That's okay. We've never lost a patient. What's up?
Okay, good. So just to get to the point here, about 15 years ago, my husband took out a HELOC.
How many years ago?
Investment opportunity. About 15.
15 years ago. He took out a HELOC. Okay.
For an investment opportunity. And the last few years, it hasn't been paying dividends. It's with his company. And we started Jade's class a few weeks ago, and I love her. She's awesome. And we're going through the baby steps, and I just feel like we're so out of order because we had our house paid off. And then he, did this investment opportunity, and now I feel like I'm a little bitter, and I'm having a hard time being on board to pay this off together because I'm just upset about it. Because
where were you 15 years ago?
I had 2 babies, and I said I don't agree with it.
And you signed the papers anyway?
No, I didn't sign any papers.
Yes, you did. You don't get a HELOC on someone's personal residence without the spouse's signature.
I didn't sign it. I didn't know that.
Okay. And, it doesn't matter now. There's a HELOC on your house.
Okay.
Yes. But, it might matter. I don't know. Okay, so what do you want to do?
I don't know. I was motivated to get...
How much is the debt?
It's up to $283,000.
What does your husband make?
The main debt we have. we probably bring in about $10,000 a month.
What was his investment into his company? He bought into a partnership or what?
So it was a family-owned company, and he had initially had shares with the company, and then when it sold to a private firm, he made all this money off the shares.
Where did that money go?
So he reinvested $500,000. First, he paid off our house, which is great, and then the rest of it, about $500,000, he reinvested in the company. And then I guess he was so excited, he decided, oh, well, we're getting a dividend of $600
so
a month.
The investment into the new company is in what form? Is it a publicly traded company or what?
No, it's not. It's just the company shares.
He still works there?
A private.
Okay. So what percentage of this company does he own?
I don't even know. He has about 75,000 shares. And I asked him,
what are the rules to get out of it? Can he sell them?
I asked him that too, and he's like, "Oh no, we can't sell them." And I said, "Well, let's talk to whoever's in charge of this and see what we can do."
Yeah.
To sell it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of on his assignment because when we started this class a few weeks ago,
that's not anything to do with the class. It's got to just do with common sense. We need to clear up this mess you've made, and you're playing Russian roulette with our house. It ain't cool, dude.
It's not.
Have you shared with him your feelings about this strongly, saying, I don't feel safe, I want this debt gone? Is he actually listening to that, or is he going, well, just trust me, I got this?
Well, whenever I bring it up, he'll either leave the room, or last week when we were listening to Jade's class, I just started crying and talking about it. And and the thing is, he's like the nicest person in the world. He's not like a jerk. He doesn't go out and buy things for himself or anything.
No, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
I think he bought a lot of stuff for himself, like $500,000 worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
While putting your home at risk.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need to liquidate this. It's not it's not paying dividends. It's not working. So I'm kind of worried about the quality of the company at this stage of the game, and whether you're ever going to get $500,000 out of it or not. And B, you want to get your house paid off, and that he basically borrowed on your home to invest in a business that he's a minority shareholder in, which is just dangerous as can be. That's just dangerous because he's got no vote. He can't, if you're not a majority shareholder, meaning 51%, you don't control the outcomes of the company. And so other people vote your prosperity in or out.
Right.
And that's what's happening here. I can tell by the way you've structured this conversation. So yeah, he needs to, this sweet man needs to get his money out of his company and pay off his home and never sign his wife's name again without having a power of attorney. Because unless Indiana has different laws than most states, you don't get a home equity loan without both spouses signing on a property, on your personal residence. Now you could do it on an investment property in some states, but you can't do it on your personal residence. Title company won't cover it. So
now, Dave, I've heard you talk about agreeing with your spouse on financial decisions, and you and Sharon do this. So if you say, hey, I want to invest this money over here, and Sharon has a strong feeling, as you say, does it just not happen? What's the conversation like?
We argue about it until I'm right, but no, I argue about it until she's right. But we come to a conclusion, but we're not. When in doubt, don't is the rule, and so these days, Lisa, what your role is the same as Sharon's, because this is the type of crap I did in the old days. I'm not signing her name, but I'm not 100% sure he did that, but I'm kind of thinking he did. But But this idea of I'm going to do this is the right thing, and she's got 2 kids, and she's like, whatever you want to do, go ahead. And she would say, like, whatever you want to do, honey, which is Southern for you wreck it by yourself, Bubba, and then I'm going to make fun of you. That's what that means. And so, no, we need to have a meeting of the minds. We need to be, and Lisa, your role from this point forward is speak up loudly. You have a voice, you have a vote, and both of you get a vote. And if both of you don't place your votes, you stand a much higher probability of losing money on things and buying the wrong things at the wrong times. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 40% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services to repair, maintain, or improve your home. Researching dozens of providers is a thing of the past. Neighborly is all you need to remember for a nationwide network of local home service pros. Great company, by the way. Visit neighborly.com to find help near you.
Today's question comes from Ben in Florida. He writes, I understand tipping 20% at a restaurant when I'm dining in, but am I obligated to tip at a restaurant when I place a to-go order? There's no service provided other than making a meal, and I drove to pick it up. Am I wrong here? I'm curious what your thoughts are with how crazy tipping has become culturally. This has been all over, Dave, as self-checkouts now have tipping screens.
You've done some really funny bits on this.
There's
your social
a lot
media
of
stuff. On George Camel, look him up on social media, making fun of the spin tip move, where they spin the thing around at the fast food joint and ask you to tip.
Well, and it's always it's just going to ask you a question. Like you don't know what the question is.
Yeah.
It's always an awkward scenario.
The other one I saw the other day, I was cracking up. And we teach generosity. Let's just be clear, okay? One of the reasons to get your money together is to be crazy generous. But the other one was, it's like, this guy said, I go into a grocery store and they're like, do you want to add $10 for hungry children? He's like, no, I want this mega corporation to pay for hungry children. I'm not adding $10. It's like, everywhere you go, I'm checking out buying a dog collar. Do you want to help doggy?
Oh, yeah. They have it on online checkout
I mean,
now.
PetSmart's got a thing, right? Everywhere they got a done for $10 for starving something. And listen, I totally believe in taking care of pets. I totally believe in taking care of starving children and all that, but I don't do it at the when I'm checking out. I'm more thoughtful with my generosity and much larger with my generosity than that. Now, having said all that, the spin move is kind of middle ground here on the to-go order.
It's iffy. It's iffy.
I think. Dining in, I'm outrageously tipping. Valets, I'm outrageously tipping. they're out in the rain, the sun. B, they're driving my really nice car, and I don't want Ferris Bueller's Day Out. I'm outrageously tipping. Okay, so, all right, so now we've covered that stuff. I believe in tipping. I always leave a really nice large bill as a tint on the bed when I leave a hotel room.
That's
sitting right there on the end, so it's obvious what it was for the person that's nice enough to clean up that room for me. And I didn't have to make my bed that day. Life is pretty good. So, I tipped. I believe in tipping.
There were some physical services provided.
Tipping at a fast food joint? No. Tipping at the Starbucks line? No. No. Tipping your driver? Sure. Tipping your bellman? You better. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. Big time. Be outrageously generous with tipping. This one is kind of in the middle. It's not really fast food. It's a dine-in nice restaurant or a semi-nice restaurant that would have given you the opportunity to tip were you to have sat down and had a waiter, which you did not have. But sometimes they assign a waiter, a host, or a person to work this table.
Yes. And that's the caveat here is there is physical effort involved with packaging up all your stuff, making sure the order's right, adding the utensils, all of that. But it's not the same level of service as I walk up to Dave 17 times to make sure he's got water, make sure he's got what he needs, showed him the menu, recommended some wine, whatever it is. So I don't see it in the same category. I don't tip 20% on to-go orders unless it was a giant group order catering. They outserved me. They were amazing. But generally, it's a buck or two, maybe 10% on a to-go order. And some people actually force it now. There's one restaurant in town that I get to-go orders from. They have a 10% service fee built in to-go orders. So businesses are just going, we're going to force a gratuity, which I'm not a fan of. But they can do what they want to do, and I'm choosing to participate.
They didn't force you to shop there.
No, so I chose to still eat there.
All right. So
that's the caveat. Yeah. But I don't like the guilted generosity or the forced generosity.
Guilted. That's the thing with the starving children in the grocery store thing. Yeah.
So should you? I think it's a nice thing to do, and I think it's a great reason to get your finances in order to be able to do that. But if you feel guilted into it, I wouldn't do it out of guilt. I'm going to make eye contact while I spin the screen around and go custom tip 0.00. There we go. That's the way. That's the flex.
Savage, George.
So
you're
savage. But I got hate on this, Dave, because we posted a funny meme.
You did get big time hate on it.
And all the comments, they're saying, I work in the service industry, and I can't believe you don't tip 25% for to-go orders.
You don't work in the service industry if you work in fast food. Let me help you with this. You work in a fast food place. That's not the service industry. The service industry is where you provide service, not where you hand food over the counter that someone else cooked. No, I'm sorry, you're a cashier if you work in the fast food.
Well, where does the line end, Dave? Our grocery stores, are we going to start tipping? I mean, they bag our groceries. Should we not tip them?
If the guy takes them to my car, those guys, yeah, absolutely.
They're getting a tip.
Absolutely.
But just for scanning it through the checkout line, I don't think it qualifies as gratuity.
Yeah. And I was in Mexico and went to a nice, they have a whole different set of customs, right? A nice grocery store, a high-end grocery store, so to speak, if you can get that right in your head. But
it's the Whole Foods of Mexico.
This is a nice place, and they don't do bags. You bring your own bag, right? And if you don't have your own bag, there's these nice little 90-year-old Mexican ladies standing at the end of the thing, boxing the stuff up in boxes that they brought from the back and helping you out. And I always overtip those ladies. There's just something about them that just says big money, big money. So, yeah, I want to do that for sure. This one, I'm kind of going to be 50-50. I got two thoughts on it. One is I don't want to be guilted into anything. I'm with you. And B, there's very few times, I say never, almost never have I regretted being generous. There's very few times I look back, unless I was guilted into it. Okay, but there's very few times I look back that, not counting being guilted.
Wish I didn't give them that $5, that $10.
Because they're in there working, and I'm just trying. I'm doing well. God's blessed me. Why not? Why not? Just be easy with it. Don't be so dadgum hard case. But I do resent this spin thing at the counter And that is guilting. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the $10 thing. I skip the Starving Children add-on at the thing. I'll take care of starving children through one of the ministries that the Ramsey Foundation
that you vetted,
that we support,
trust.
that we vetted, and that we spend a whole lot more than $10. I can promise you that, and give a whole lot more than $10 to that. So we're doing our part, so to speak, but just not through XYZ grocery store.
Yeah,
know.
Usually there's a compliment as they spin it. That's, hey, I love your hair. You ever get one of those?
They never say that to me, George.
Oh.
I never get love your hair.
That's sad. If they
never
tried that,
comes up,
you'd get
George.
a really big tip from Dave if you
George,
tried that.
It never comes up. It wouldn't, because that would not be real. It would be.
Well, there's an expectation. If Dave Ramsey walks
What are you, a
in,
smart ankle? You love my hair. What are you like? What's wrong with you?
But do you feel pressure as a public figure, known for money and generosity?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. No,
they're going to tell this story.
And when in
good and bad.
doubt, if I'm going to give them a Dave story, it ought to be a good one.
That's right.
So when in doubt, God's given me a lot of money to manage, and so it's easy. I don't feel guilty about. But I'm just very careful. And Sharon's like, you way over tip. And I'm like, yep. And when I get to heaven, no one's going to go, nope, you're not getting in here because you overtipped.
You're an overtipper.
It didn't work. St. Peter's never gone, nope, you can't come in. You overtipped, Dave. It's bad use of money. Because to me, it's a form of generosity in the appropriate situations. This one's right down the middle for me. So I'm trying to visualize walking in, because I don't do this very often. Yeah, like if we go to get a bunch of barbecue, like you said, a big order.
That's what I'm saying.
Like we got a family reunion coming up. Sharon will send me up to the barbecue place, and I'm picking up like boxes of crap, pickles, like 80 gallons of pickles.
I got to go to these parties.
All this stuff, man. There's a big family. And so when I'm doing that, somebody has worked their tail off on that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to jack that one up. So, but
if Dave's pad thai order,
I have
I don't know.
a single person's order.
That's generally my situation.
I don't personally do that, so I don't know how I would react. I'm probably, when in doubt, though, be generous. It never messes you up. But is it a mandatory cultural thing? No. Is it a generosity move? If you do it, yes. This is The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Colin and Olivia are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you live?
We live in Portland, Michigan.
All right. What's that near?
Lansing.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
So we paid off about $61,000 in total. We got married in the process, so together paid off about $49,000.
Okay. Of which 49 since marriage.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. And how long since you started working on the 61 back?
13 months in total.
Okay. Very cool. How long y'all been married?
Since September.
Oh, wow. All right. Very good.
Still fresh.
There you
Super
go.
fresh.
And what's your range of incomes in the last 13 months?
So I started as an intern making about 49, and then when we got married, I got into my career and we got married, ended about 130.
Yep. Excellent. Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So I'm a packaging engineer.
I'm a field service tech for heavy equipment.
Very good. Good for you guys. What kind of debt was this $61,000?
So about $54,000 was student loans. I had a car loan, a furnace loan, and a credit card.
Okay. The way she says that, Colin, you had nothing.
He actually had nothing.
Yeah, no debt at all.
I was the baggage.
No debt at all. Okay. All right.
So when you got married, you kind of stepped into this journey she was already on.
Yeah. I actually got home one day and I walked in and the credit cards were cut up on the kitchen table. It's like, okay, well we're doing this.
It just got real. Were you shocked by all this as she started the debt-free journey?
No, I went to high school and we kind of had a financial peace class. So I knew about it and I was all for it from the beginning.
Yeah. So what got you fired up and on track, Olivia?
So I was on my internship right before I graduated college, and
what's your degree in?
Packaging science.
Oh, okay, of course.
So was on my internship and got a call from the bank, and I had $300 a month in interest payments. And they called just saying that they needed more money. And I was like, I don't have more money. So and I was not sure what to do. And I started crying at my desk. And my coworker, Chris, was like, have you heard of Dave Ramsey? And I was like, I never have. And I didn't learn about this in school. So he turned me onto the podcast. And it was just like that same day. I mean, all day, every day while I was working, when I was, going on a walk, it was just a total mindset shift from then. So
wow.
He really turned me onto it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So nothing like a little stress to make you search out a wake-up call.
Oh, yeah.
Place to go, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. There was definitely a point where I would not go check my mail. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just can't. I can't live like this anymore. I needed to go get my mail, but I was afraid of the bills and I was afraid of the payments. And I would just never, I didn't even know how much debt I had until I started listening to the show because I was afraid to check. So
yeah, you don't want to add it up.
Exactly.
It's la, 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 la,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. To all of you out there who see a coworker crying at their desk and recommend Dave Ramsey, thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
You never know.
That is one of our more popular marketing techniques, actually. But, yeah.
Well, it's a risky one because, a lot of the times people don't listen. What caused you to go, I'm open to it? Were you just at that kind of rock bottom moment where you went, I'll try anything?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it was like one of my coworker had said, if what you're doing isn't working, then you obviously need to change what you're doing. And I was like, well, it's not working. So
why not?
Yeah, exactly. I had nothing to lose at that point. And even if it didn't work, I was like, well, I mean, I tried. And luckily it did. The first thing I tried, I wasn't into, I wasn't really big into the financial game. So this is the first thing I tried. And it was the only thing I'll probably ever do, I think. So.
Good. Well, it's all you'll need to do if you keep doing it. Yes. I promise you. Wow. Way to go. So how does it feel to be completely free just a few months into your all's marriage?
Oh, feels good. So good. Yeah, we're closing on our first house on Friday.
Yay!
So we're so excited.
I love it. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a long way to go from not being able to pay your $300 bill.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Congratulations. Good stuff. All right. What do you two tell people, young married couple out there that's thinking, I don't know if I can do this or not? What do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
I'd say just be consistent. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, even if it's super dim. Don't listen to the people around you because they're all dumb and they don't know what they're doing. I'd say just
except for that one guy
that
came up
Chris.
when you were crying. Yeah.
Yeah, just sticking with it and just like if you know what you're doing is not working, you need a solution and you need a way out. So I mean, just find it within yourself to be mad at yourself for doing that. So
and I think the big thing for like me at least was I'm pretty visionary learner, I guess. So we had like a chart on the fridge and we'd color it as we paid off debt. And like, watching that debt go down was kind of cool. That
debt thermometer thing. Yeah, that's a big deal, man. You got to have that. I think we're all that way, to some more so than others, but everybody, it never hurts to have it right in front of you and go, hey, I'm winning. Mm-hmm. Hey, this sacrifice is paying off.
Right.
Hey, it's like looking down the scale. You lost some weight if you're trying to lose weight. I think I can drink a little more water. This is working, So whatever it is you're doing, you keep doing it because we're moving the needle finally in the right direction. Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Good stuff.
Wow. You guys are impressive. There's so many couples out there that go, yeah, we have the debt, but we really want the house. Right, so they just do everything all at once, and then they wake up one day and they go, this ain't it. And you guys did it slow and steady. What would you tell those couples who feel like they want the house, home ownership is such a dream, and you guys waited and you did it the right way?
I would probably just say one step at a time. Like, get a goal, finish the goal before you move on. I mean, I think the focus is just all of our friends and family were like, "This is crazy," but I'm like, the one step at a time and the focus, one thing after another, is just, it makes so much of a difference, because we had been looking at houses when we were in the process of paying off debt, and I was like, oh, I just can't do it. I didn't feel right until it was gone.
Yeah. Well, it's and now that the ones that were they were kind of saying you're crazy. Now look at you. Only been married since September, and you're debt free and got a house.
Yes.
Ding ding. Yes. So how you like me now? Yeah, right. I like it. So well done, you guys. Proud of you. Excellent work. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you. It includes the Baby Steps Millionaires book, latest #1 bestseller. That's the track you're on to be millionaires, and the Total Money Makeover book, which is the process you followed to get out of debt, and a Financial Peace University membership. If you've not been through the whole class as a young married couple, go through it now. Even though you're out of debt, it's not only about getting out of debt. It's about handling money all the way to wealth, all the way to generosity. So take it if you're not taking it yet. And we'll give it to you all as our gift for coming to Nashville to do your debt-free scream.
Awesome.
Proud of you guys. Well done. Colin and Olivia from the Lansing, Michigan area. $61,000 paid off in 13 months. Making 49 to 130. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free.
Yeah! Yeah! That's it. Wow. It is a combination of what the 12-steppers say. She said the line twice. If you don't like the results you're getting, continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. That's the 12-steppers, right? And if you don't like the results you're getting, it's time to change the recipe. If you're baking a cake and it keeps turning out chocolate and you wanted vanilla, change the recipe. Something's wrong, right? You're not getting what you want out of this thing. You can't keep doing the same thing. So she made a change. That is such a basic human thing, and yet so many people just continue to do the same thing and go, well, I don't know. You think that we elect a new president, maybe I'll be okay. No, doofus, it's you. You got to change you. Me, I'm looking in the mirror. I go, you guy in the mirror, doofus, you got to change you. You're the problem. And that's exactly what Olivia did, man. She changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the greatest gifts God has given man is free will to stop doing stupid stuff and do smarter stuff.
That sounds like a theologian right there.
I don't know if that made it into the Bible.
Free will to stop doing stupid stuff.
That's my Spark Notes.
And second hesitations. There we go. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Solutions, Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Paying off debt is smart. That enables you to save and invest, which is smart. Enables you to be generous, which is smart. But also you not only play offense, you need to play defense, and that's good insurance. Protecting your finances from emergencies. There's 10 kinds of insurance that you might need, and a whole bunch of kinds you don't need. And we built a tool to help you figure this out. It's completely free. It's called the Coverage Checkup Tool. Tells you which types to add, which types to drop, which types to adjust. Even ranks your coverage list by importance. We'll email it back to you from our Ramsey Trusted Insurance Providers. You can get the plan in place fast, and it might be the most important 5 minutes of free you do this year. Could end up saving you a ton of money, because sometimes we're buying the wrong kinds of insurance or buying insurance the wrong ways. So visit RamseySolutions.com/checkup, RamseySolutions.com/checkup. Alvin is with us in North Dakota. Hey, Alvin, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Sure. What's up?
My question is, should I pause baby step 2 to stack up cash for my son's private school, or should I cash flow it monthly when he starts to attend?
How much is it?
It's $6,000 yearly.
$6,000 a year?
Yes, sir.
And what do you make? What's your household income?
$91,000 a year.
Okay. All right. Is it all due? Is it normally paid? They have a monthly plan. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Do they charge an interest or an extra fee on the monthly plan?
It's a $50 fee to pay monthly.
One time or each month?
One time.
Okay. I probably would just make it a monthly. Just put it in my budget. What do you think, George?
Well, I think putting, $500 as a line item in your budget and still allowing you to make headway on your debt, I like that plan better than just waiting until, we have the money.
Because what's running through my head is either way, you're going to have to put it as a line item in your budget.
You've got a sinking fund now.
I'm building up a pile of cash here, and I'm throwing $500 a month at that for 10 months or for 12 months, so I've got $6,000. Or I'm, whatever, 600 for 10, or however you want to break it down, 1,500 for 4. Whatever it is, somewhere or another, I'm going to end up having a line item in my budget, and I think I'll just make it a monthly payment.
What's left on your debt?
I have $15,000 left on my debt.
Okay. All right. And you can do this. It's not an outrageous percentage of your household income. Which might lead me to an objection for private school as to whether or not you can afford it. But I think you can afford this and still get out of the other stuff, don't you?
Yes, sir. I think I can.
Yeah. I think you just... What are you leaning towards, Alvin? Which way would you rather do it? There's not a wrong answer, okay? As long as you're paying for it, you're not putting it on a credit card, we're fine. So which way would you rather do it? Would you rather do it monthly or just back it up and do it?
I was leaning toward packing it up and paying it at once.
Okay.
But then I also fear that if I have all that money set aside, and an emergency happens, I'll be looking at that as, I need to use that now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can't, pinky swear and spit shake, you're going to keep your hands off of it, then if you're not comfortable, you're going to keep your hands off of it, then I would not stack it. But
what kind of debt is the 15?
It's an auto loan. It's my only debt.
Yeah, how quick are you going to have that clear?
Without the private schooling, I would be done in 10 months.
Okay, so you're not necessarily doing the private schooling.
I am doing it. He's enrolled, but
okay.
So
I don't think without the private schooling is not an option then.
No.
So without it's 10 months, you're saying it'll take an extra 6 months beyond that?
Yes.
Okay. I would also find a way to make it up and go, how can I make an extra $6,000 over the next 12 months so that I don't hold back the debt payoff process?
Yeah, let's jack this up. Tighten down the budget and raise the income if possible to add some fuel to the fire. If you aren't comfortable that you're going to leave the money alone if something pops up, then I would not stack it. Just one of the things I have to do is I have to put systems in place to guard me from me. And I do that quite frequently. Like there are no donuts in my house because if they're there, I will eat them. And so I just don't have donuts in my house.
That's the temptation.
System. That's a system. I have no donuts in my house, and my wife does not bring donuts into my house.
Well, Sharon wouldn't touch a donut.
No, she's health food nut, but she knows I'll eat them.
It would be vegan and gluten-free. Dave's like, I don't even want that.
That's not even a real donut.
That's not real food.
That's not real donuts. But yeah, so I mean, you have to build systems in to keep you automatic. Like I put a bunch of our investing stuff on automatic draft. And then I've not thought about it in 15 years. It just automatically comes out every month. I've got a big chunk that comes out of my personal account and goes into a S&P 500 for investing in real estate later. It's a big old check every month. And it's been coming out there forever. And I'm just not used to it not being.
Forget about it.
It's like it's not there. You know, it's auto. So there was a book many years ago that was a bestseller David Bach wrote called Automatic Millionaire.
Yes.
And his concept was put as many things on autopilot as you can. And I don't disagree with that. It's easier than trying to form a habit that our friend James Clear would talk about from Atomic Habits. But two good books, both worth reading. But that's the way to look at it. So Alvin, I try to protect me from me. You said that about you, so I'm putting yours on payment.
That's the first step is self-awareness.
Putting it on payments is what I'm doing. I'm just going to pay the extra $50 and let it run. I did that with early in our budgeting career. I put the budget billing on the utilities, which made it the same amount every month, and then once a year there's a true up. You're either over or you're short, and there's a true up once a year. And it's not dramatic because their estimating system was pretty good back in those days. We don't do that now. So, but that helped me smooth the budget out. So I always knew what utilities are going to be except once a year. And you pay a little extra fee for that. And I actually had my car insurance back in the day because when I first started doing this stuff, I had quarterly car insurance. Talk about a nightmare.
Wow. Once a quarter, you've got a big payment.
Save, pay. Save, pay. So it was just
a mini sinking fund.
It's like it was all the time. I was always paying. It felt like so. I just put the thing. I paid an extra, I don't know, like he said, $30 a year or something, and just put it on a monthly and never thought about it again until I finally wasn't using that company and I just went to an annual many years later.
Well, now it's easier because I use Every Dollar and they have sinking funds you can set up in there. So once a year I pay my annual insurance premiums. And
but you have to. The trick of that is you have to emotionally divorce yourself from the money.
Yes.
Like it's gone. It came out, and it's over there in the education kids' private school fund, and I don't own that money anymore. It's like it's gone emotionally. It's like that money coming out for an investment. It's not there. I can't buy a toy with it because it's not for toys. It's for investments. And it's gone. And you kind of you have to get
some maturity.
Well, that's just
and discipline.
I've done it for 30 years, so it's easy. But I had to set it aside. I had to have a separate account, savings account, just for the emergency fund. Never touch that one account. That's the account that has a do not touch stamp on it. And I've never touched it. Oddly enough, I've never had an emergency big enough in decades
to
even get close to it, that I couldn't cash flow it. Yeah. And some of that is I've got a pretty good cash position, but it's not there. That money's not even in my emotional equation. And that's just really important, folks, that you set yourself up for winning like that. Those are good thoughts from, and really in a sense, that's what Clear talks about in Atomic Habits as well. So good stuff. George Camel, Ramsey Personality. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us. This is a Baby Steps Millionaires theme hour. We're going to talk to real millionaires, people who have a net worth of $1 million or greater, and we want to find out the real story of how they did that. We don't want your broke brother-in-law's opinion. He always has one and he votes wrong. So we need to check out what's going on here. Where do millionaires really come from? George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. To clarify, if you're a caller on this show this hour, you have a net worth of $1 million or greater. That is the definition. It is an accounting metric of a millionaire. A net worth is a math calculation. It is not a feeling. It is not a moral construct. It is not a spiritual state. It is a math formula. The math formula is this: what you own minus what you owe is your net worth. Your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth. So, for instance, if the only thing you own was a mortgage, was a home, and you owe, it's worth $200,000, and you had a $50,000 mortgage, your net worth would be $150,000. That's your net worth. What you own minus what you owe.
Thanks for the clarification, Dave. I've had to get in some fights in the YouTube comments because of idiots who go, well, unless you have $1 million liquid cash, you're not a millionaire.
That's a cash millionaire. That's different.
But your house doesn't count because you can't access the house.
It's a balance sheet. It's what you would know if you actually took an accounting class. So idiots in Tic Tac didn't have accounting classes, and so they're out there running around, running their mouth about what a real millionaire is. I actually heard a U.S. congressman say the other day, all of these millionaires that make $1 million a year. No, ma'am, you're stupid. And so are the people that elected you. Oh, my God. $1 million income does not make you a millionaire. It could lead you to having $1 million net worth.
You can make $1 million and be broke, it turns out.
You could spend $2 million. Oh, wait, that's in Congress. Yeah.
That's where they learned it.
Yeah. Okay. So the deal is $1 million net worth. And we're going to talk about the mythology around wealth in America today, where it really comes from, where it doesn't. But we're going to talk to real millionaires. 888-825-5225. We'll start with Canada, making sure they got some millionaires north of the border. Kyle is with us. Hey, Kyle, what's your net worth?
Hey, Dave and George. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys.
You too.
We're just over 1 million, between 1 and 1.1.
That counts, brother. Give me a little breakdown on the mix of that. How is that distributed among what kind of assets?
I'll tell you what. I mean, it's only a Canadian million, so I'm not technically as wealthy as your other American millionaires, but it counts for me.
You're close.
A Canadian millionaire. We'll give it a whole new look. All right.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got about $500,000 in my business. That's equipment, mostly. 165,000 in a TFSA between myself and my wife. 115K in RRSPs. We've got about 75K in a high interest savings account, 100,000 in cash, and about 150 in home equity.
Way to go! Good job. How old are you?
We are 29. Well, I'm 29.
Wow, young millionaires. All right. So, how much of this did you inherit?
Financially, I have yet to inherit anything. What I did inherit, Dave, I've got two super supportive parents that taught me how to handle money young and supported me getting started. So
taught you how to work.
Financially, nothing so far.
They taught you how to work.
Taught me how to work and taught me how to save. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your work in your working lifetime? What was your best year's income and your worst year's income so far?
We've been growing year over year. Last year we recorded about 250
net profit.
And I mean, net profit. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And when I first started, I started at the lumber yard at 16. As soon as I had a driver's license for $10 an hour, working 4-hour shifts in the evenings. So
gotcha.
Not very much.
Okay, cool. So what is your career? You said heavy equipment.
Yes, I'm in heavy equipment in the agricultural space. I do custom farming for guys. Actually, corral cleaning is my main gig.
Very cool, very cool. You got a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, any degree?
I have a 2-year degree, from a technology institute.
Okay, what was your GPA?
A little less than 3. I don't remember exactly, but it was like 2.7, 2.8, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And so Can it be done now? Can you be a millionaire today if you start from nothing? You're 29. You did it quick.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have no doubt that anybody can do it if they want to spend their time and invest to do it, for sure.
What do you think the secret to yours was?
I mean, when I started working, Dave, I just saved 80%, 90% of my income and waited for opportunities to come along. And when an opportunity came along to get into a business, I was able to buy in with cash and grow it from there. And I've operated in the black ever since.
Wow. Love it.
So you avoid debt completely?
I do, yeah. Besides our mortgage on our house, we're owing about $330 on our house, something
That's
like
amazing.
that. But other than that, I do have to be honest. I've got a credit card just because I use it for the things where it's more convenient, to book a hotel room or pay for gas or whatever. But I'm very, very picky about what I put on there.
Well, congratulations, Kyle. We appreciate you hanging out with us. You're a true first-generation millionaire. Very, very well done. So for those of you that are new to this process, Baby Steps Millionaires is a #1 best-selling book. Came out a year ago, January, that I did. And the back of it is the white paper from the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America. 10,167 of them we studied, George. And our Ramsey research team is, they're some of the best researchers in this type of space anywhere in America.
Oh, yeah. And we used a third-party research panel as well to make this thing ironclad, so that it wasn't too close to home. And so all of that together, I mean, I haven't seen a study this big in a long time when it comes to personal finances.
Yeah, it was massive because we didn't want anyone to argue with the sample size.
Well, you only had 1,000 people, Dave.
Yeah, so 1,000 is technically in a situation like this statistically significant, but like accounting, not everybody's had the class, right? So they don't know what statistical significance actually means. It is actually a math formula once again. So anyway, the process was that we put these guys together, studied all of these millionaires, ones that knew about Ramsey, ones that didn't know about Ramsey, ones that had been through our stuff, ones that had never heard of me in their life, and got some very, very clear indications where millionaires come from in North America. We'll share some of those with you as we go through the hour. Baby Steps Millionaires Theme Hour here on The Ramsey Show. It's a Baby Steps Millionaires Theme Hour. Where do millionaires really come from? Well, you have to be able to play professional sports, be a rock star, a country star, or an actor. Less than 1%. 0.8% of America's millionaires are names you recognize. Just doesn't come from those places. And so if you're growing up in a situation where you think the only way out of your situation is professional sports, you are statistically exactly wrong. It's the least likely way out, percentage-wise. The number of football players in high school or basketball players in high school that go on to play Division I is very, very small. The number of Division I athletes that go on to be professionals is even smaller. It is a fraction of a percentile. You're not going to win that way. The way you're going to win is controlling your spending and working on your income. And this is how people build wealth realistically with a high probability in America today. Hi, Greg is in Cincinnati. Greg, your net worth, sir.
Hey, $1.2 million, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Certainly. Give me a little breakdown on that by category.
So right now we've got about $500,000 in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We've got about $400,000 in retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the balance is spread up between kids' college, mutual fund, cash.
Gotcha. Cool. How old are you?
So I'm 41. My wife is 40.
Awesome. How much of this did you inherit?
Well, so no lump sum. Late grandfather did a cool thing. Did an annuity type thing. So we did get an extra $15,000 a year for the last 13 years, which was kind of cool. So not a huge amount, but I mean it certainly helped when we weren't making a lot of money.
Definitely helps. That's a lot of money when you're not making a lot of money. But
true.
if you just mathematically piled it up for 10 years, it's $150,000, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So what's been your income, your best year and work share of your working life?
Sure. Best year was last year. We made over $420,000, which was an anomaly.
Yeah.
I'm in software sales now, and so obviously had a good year. But for the 14 years of where we were really sticking to the detailed plan, the first 7 years we were household income of $90,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 7 years before last year was $171,000. So I moved from marketing into tech sales, and that obviously helped the bump up in average.
Yeah. So you're in tech sales today. All right. What's your degree in?
Marketing and logistics.
Okay. What was your GPA?
Dave, don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. Just a little.
I'm not.
little under 3. But my wife is not to be discounted here. She was a teacher. Her income obviously helped a ton.
Right.
And she has 2 degrees, an undergrad and a master's of education.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent.
She was 4.0. She would want me to tell you that.
All right. Well, we know who the smarter one is. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
You married her. That makes you the smartest one. Yeah. All right. Good. So, are you guys book people or TV people? Do you read in the evenings or watch TV?
We try to be book people, but it's probably about 50-50.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
That's good. We're probably 75-25. Sharon hears about some kind of crap on Netflix we turn on ever so often, but most of the time it's a book. Okay, cool. I like that.
And then Dave's hooked on The Bachelor from then on.
Yeah, and then I have to lose my man card and watch Downton Abbey or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's it. But yeah. That was a while back.
So this was
an old joke.
It's like a 14-year journey for you. How long did this take kind of when you were getting intentional about it to go, like, we want to hit this milestone?
Yeah, good question. The first about 4 years, we were really intentional, got turned on to Dave through the radio show and then the books and realized how dumb I really was. So we got out of debt within the first few years. A lot of life happened, babies, fertility, paying off tuition, paying off credit cards. So the last half of the journey has been a little bit slower as we've completed the baby steps. And then, last year enabled us to actually pay off the house as of May 1st. So we're now completely debt-free, which we're really
now you're baby
about.
step 7, and that dropped you into the $1 million category. Yeah. Perfect,
yes,
as it should be. Well done, Greg. Proud of you, man. Good work. Donna is in Huntsville. Donna, what's your net worth?
Probably in the neighborhood of $9 million.
I love it. Give me a little breakdown on that.
Okay. 95,000 in a Roth, about, I guess, 105,000 in IRAs, $1.5 million in a regular brokerage account, and about 70,000 thereabouts in regular bank account. Okay. $3 million in mortgage notes and probably $4 million in real estate.
Real estate people. All right.
Real estate person.
Love it. Real estate person. Yeah. All right. How old are you?
I'm 66.
All right. Cool. So how much of this did you inherit?
Well, actually, a few years ago, I mean, way past the time that I needed it, I inherited $100,000 from a friend of mine when he died.
So you were already a millionaire?
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Okay.
Easy.
So you're not a millionaire because of inherited money. All right.
Heck
and
no.
What has been your income? Best year working in your lifetime and worst year?
Oh, I'm 66 years old. My worst year, I made about $5,000 a year.
Okay.
Garbage jobs. looked around and listened to the 55-year-old women complaining about the same thing I was complaining about, not being able to pay their rent hardly, and said I was going to have to make some changes, or in another 30 years or so, that would be me.
Good call.
So I went to school and got an engineering degree. I had a bachelor's in philosophy already. Quick story on that is I was a semester short of getting an accounting degree and had the epiphany. I was thinking, thank God this is almost over, and then realized, what kind of job do you think you get with an accounting degree? And decided that wasn't for me, so changed my major at the last minute and got out. But I also have master's degrees in physics, applied mathematics, and electrical engineering.
Wow. So what has been your career these last few decades?
Oh, I haven't done any of that. I worked as an engineer for a couple of years. And
you just like collecting degrees for fun, like trophies.
Exactly. I got a stack of them.
But clearly you're good at real estate. So is that your thing?
What did you do for a career?
Well, when I got divorced, I got stuck with a couple of rental properties, and I kind of liked that. And I didn't have that much money, so I bought a condemned house. And had no construction background, but figured I'd figure it out, and I did. And I got to where I'm quite good at it. I do the massive remodels.
I bet. So you started, your worst year was a $5,000 income, and what has been your top year earning?
Okay, now it's a little hard to say. Currently, I should be knocking back about $700,000 a year.
I would think.
Now, part of that is, return of investment on the mortgages.
Sure.
And then I've got some expenses with the rental.
So did you sell those property and hold back the notes, or did you buy notes discounted?
No, I've sold them to friends of mine who think they want them, and I hold the paper on them.
Okay.
And I rent too cheap, so I'm actually making more money off mortgages, more income from a mortgage than I am from the rent.
Well, yeah, you're sitting on a bunch of it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, I'm sitting on a bunch of it.
Well done, Donna. You're amazing. So I was going to ask you if you've got a degree, but you got 7. So
too many to list.
And your GPA must be 4.2 on these things.
Oh, heck no. I was doing your stuff before you were doing your stuff.
You're right. That's probably true.
I mean, I'm serious. I always had $1,000, and it's amazing. That $1,000 really does stop you from having crises.
Yeah, when you're right on the edge, it keeps you off the edge. You're right. Good stuff, Donna. Well done. Wow, $9 million. That's pretty amazing. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This hour, we're doing a Baby Steps Millionaires theme hour. 4 myths, 4 lies that people say and some people believe about wealthy people. Number 1, they're brilliant. They have an inordinate amount of brain power. In other words, their GPAs are all 4.2. Not true. Not true.
We already heard that this hour. Yep. 2.7 in there.
Yeah, we got a 2 under 3 and 1 4.0. The typical millionaire, the typical person we talk to that is wealthy, has around a 3.0 GPA if they remember it.
Is that like just straight average? Is that kind of a B?
Right at the 3.2, something like that. Right in there is what we find. We didn't actually study that in the Ramsey millionaire study. That's just from us hanging out with millionaires for many years now. I find over and over and over again, you really can't be dumb. I mean, like have a 1.0 GPA, like you played beer pong the whole time or something. You can't be dumb and typically build wealth. You generally have to have some level of intellect, some ability
some IQ and EQ
critical
helps.
thinking skills, ability to stick with something, ability to think through something. But it does not require that you're a genius, which means I have a chance. So you're saying there's a chance, right? Dumb and Dumber quotes.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, I'm saying there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. There is very sadly while intellect, a level of intellect is there, the other thing we find is not a necessary level of education completed, although we find a large number have college degrees. But what we do find is they're almost all lifetime learners. Like our last one, Donna, 66 years old with $9 million.
Oh, yeah.
She continued to go back and get degrees because she started in a dead-end job making nothing, looking around at 55-year-old broke women going, I'm going to be one of them. I don't want to be one of them. So what'd she do? She just kept learning. And even when she got a divorce, what'd she do? She went and bought a condemned house. I don't know how to fix it up, but I think I can figure it out.
Figure it out.
Continual learner, continual learner, continual learner. Always reading, always growing, always learning, always putting something new in their cap. How many books have you read since the first of the year? I've completed 3 nonfiction books this month. I'm on a roll. I don't usually do that many a month, but I'm on a roll right now, and I've got a great nonfiction. Jack Carr's new one's laying on there. A fiction book. I'm sorry, it's a great one. And then I've got a nonfiction laying on my desk right now that I'm getting ready to start too. And I'm just going to tear into them. I find everything I want in a book. Reading. So I see that a lot with millionaires. They, yes, I admit it, I watched Tiger King, but I also read, okay? And so I have to offset my brain.
The real admission
the brain cells
is that you
that
liked
I
it.
killed watching Tiger King have to be replenished by reading. So that's it. So yeah, I mean, we all do some things we regret in
It was
this life.
2020. It was a tough year for all of us.
It was a hard year. It was a very hard year for a lot of Tigers. And so
well, my favorite stat in there was that 97% of the millionaires believe they control their destiny. I went, that is profound. Because most people...
69% of the public does.
Yeah. So comparatively to the general public, there's a high correlation of, I believe I can do it.
Yeah.
If you think you can, you think you can't, you're right.
And here's one of the ones that I think is so classic. It fits with this envy and jealousy culture that we're building, which is kind of a core tenet of socialism, right? I have to envy someone. I have to hate someone's success. I have to be jealous of someone's success. And this one falls in that bucket. All wealthy people are crooks because that's a known way to become wealthy. You have to be crooked. And the weird thing is, I've met thousands and thousands of millionaires, 30 years doing this, and I have met over 50 in person, had conversations with them, billionaires. Now that's 1,000 million. And out of those billionaires, I only know 2 of them that I can remember that are complete butts. They were complete, and if I named them, you would know them. I mean, they're that kind of butt. And they're like famous butts. That's
Those
what
are
we're
the best kind.
Yeah. And so, but the rest of them are some of the nicest people on the planet. Because this is a truth broken logic. Okay, the logic of this says you rip people off to get money. The problem with that is that when you rip someone off, word gets around. And the next one is harder to rip off. And then word gets around. And the next one's even harder to rip off. So you're running a business, let's just call it a car repair place, and you don't repair someone's car and you overcharge them. You rip them off. So if that's you and you get ripped off by the car repair guy, what do? You
tell all your friends.
Stay away from him.
Put it on Facebook.
Yeah,
don't go there.
Stay away from this guy. He's a crook, right?
Leave a bad review.
Yeah. And pretty soon the guy's out of business. He's not wealthy. But if the guy takes really good care of you, you go in and he goes, hey, he spends about 5 minutes fixing your car and goes, oh, it's just one little thing here. He turns the screw and, what do I owe you, buddy? Nothing. Just remember me when you have a real car repair and tell your friends. Well, guess what you do? You remember him when you have a real car repair, and you tell your friends. And you look up 10 years later, and the guy's got shops in 5 cities. And he's worth about $10 million. Because all he did was honestly repair someone's car a lot. That's all he did. And he's got a net worth of $5 or $10 million. They're all over the place. So it turns out the best way to become wealthy is high integrity, is what the actual critical thinking leads us to believe, versus ripping people off. So this idea that all the rich people are crooks, all that means is you're a small-minded, jealous person who doesn't know how life works. That doesn't say anything about rich people. It says something about you when you say stuff like that.
The logic doesn't make sense, because if they get wealthy, that automatically makes them a crook based on their own logic.
Well, that means you wouldn't want to get wealthy. That's the person that's saying that. I wouldn't want to be rich because all those rich people are bad people. Ugh. And it's quite the opposite. Most of them are really good people who've helped a lot of people. That's how they became wealthy. You know, and I've noticed this about us. No one was pissed off when I sold $10 books helping people get out of debt out of the trunk of my car, and I helped 10 people, and I sold 10 books making $10. Nobody was mad. But now that I've sold 20 million of them, Dave Ramsey got rich on the backs of poor people. No, I helped more people than I did when I was doing it out of the trunk of my car. A lot more people got help now.
And they gave you certificates of appreciation.
Now, because of scale, I'm automatically evil. All that means is you're an idiot if you say stuff like that. That's all that means. And that's not me being defensive. It's just your critical thinking skills suck when you do that. I mean, you're just exposing yourself. It's just bad. So, millionaires come from hard work and honesty. Who knew? Andrew is in Irvine, California. Andrew, what's your net worth?
1.3 million.
Very cool.
Depending on which website you believe when it comes to the house value.
Ah, that's cool. That's
good
fair.
Point.
And so give me a little breakdown on the 1.3 million.
All right, so I have 385 in traditional IRAs, 180 in Roth IRAs, 30 in a taxable mutual fund, 10 in individual stocks, 9 in an HSA account, 90 in cash, and somewhere between 600 and 900 in the house. Zillow says it's worth 900. I don't believe them.
Okay, but it's probably worth 8. Yeah, well done, man. How old are you?
34.
34.
Wow.
How much of this did you inherit?
Not a penny. My parents are still alive. My grandparents are still alive.
Okay, very good. And how much of this did you steal?
Not a penny. I don't believe in that.
Referencing the last rant. Okay,
wow.
Yeah, very good. All right. And what's your best year of working income and your worst year?
Worst year would be right after I graduated college. I was making $14 an hour, and best year was 2017. My wife and I grossed about $350.
What's your degree in?
Cinema and media arts.
Oh, good.
So film production.
Got it.
Awesome.
What was your GPA?
4.0, but film school is easy.
Great answer. Well, you're really good at it, clearly.
Obviously, very good. Congratulations, Andrew. Thanks for sharing your story. This is the Baby Steps Millionaire Theme Hour here on The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Corinthians 9:27. But I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. Clint Eastwood says, self-respect leads to self-discipline. When you have both firmly under your belt, that is real power. Whoa, from the one and only. There you go. Hey guys, if you've changed your life with the money principles we teach, chances are someone you know helped you. They lit a fire under you. They guided you. Mom and dad gave you TMMO as a gift. Your pastor offered Financial Peace University at your church. Well, now it's your chance to share that same kind of hope. And a good way to do it is by giving them the Live and Give box. It's the perfect gift for a newlywed or a graduate in your life. It's everything you need to win. It comes with Financial Peace University, the best thing we do in the building, the Total Money Makeover book, and Baby Steps Millionaires. And right now, you get all of this for just $89, but just for a few more days. So, talk about a gift that matters. It's called hope, freedom. Grab this Live and Give box today, only $89 at RamseySolutions.com/box. Lisa and Alan are in Sacramento. Hey, guys, what's your net worth?
Well, Dave, in 2007, our net worth was $2.1 million, but then we lost it all, and it fell to negative $4 million. At that point, we found you and started slowly climbing back out. We did our debt-free scream 20 months later in 2010, and you told us we would be millionaires again, and I thought you were crazy. But guess what? We followed the baby steps, and our current net worth is $1.2 million.
You did it! I bet it's a lot more solid this time.
You bet it is.
Yeah. How old are you guys?
64.
64. So you're like me. You had to do it twice.
Yeah.
I like this one. All right. So give me a little breakdown on the $1.2 million. How's it broken down by category?
Well, we have two houses worth about $1,025,000. In retirement, we have about $370,000, and cash $150,000.
Okay, I'm getting more than 1.2 then.
Oh, well, we have a mortgage.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right, and on the mortgage. So that reduces the net. Okay, I got you. Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, and so how much of this did you inherit?
0.
Okay, cool. And so what are your careers?
I'm an architect and my own business.
And I work in his business.
Okay, cool. So obviously you have an architectural degree. And what was your GPA in that?
3.5.
Okay, very good. All right. So you guys are the comeback story. What advice would you give to the 25-year-old version of you listening so they only do it once?
I would say beware of real estate investment schemes that turn out to be scams.
Oh, I remember you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, whoa. Those were some numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. It was not just not a bad advice. This is a true actual scam, right?
It was an actual scam. Yeah. The CEO of the company has been in prison for quite a while.
Wow.
And you guys climbed out of it.
How would you advise someone? This is so interesting. How would you advise someone avoid that?
Oh,
how do you keep from getting scammed?
If it's too good to be true, it's not true.
There you go. I like that one. Did you have a sense at any point, like something early in the process, like something doesn't feel right, but you went ahead anyway?
I think it was when we took out a mortgage on our property that was getting close to being free and clear.
To invest in this
it just didn't feel right.
Scam.
Yeah.
So anytime someone says, hey, give me this money, I'll turn it into 10x that.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yep.
Oh.
Man. Wow.
I'm proud of you guys for climbing out of that.
You guys are impressive.
Negative $4 million feels unsurmountable.
Let me tell you.
All the way to back positive 1.2. That's very cool. I told you would be. And you know how I knew you would be is once you've been in this, once you have breathed that air, you know what it smells like. And you know it can be done. It's like one time I rode a bicycle and then I had a wreck, but I knew I could ride a bicycle still because I had done it before. It wasn't theory anymore. And so they always say the second million's easier. It is because you know you can do it. I've done it once. I can do it again. I just won't do it as stupid this time. I'll be smarter, you know. And that's how I felt anyway. And so I'm convinced that the second million, if you have to do it twice, is always easier. Way to go, you guys. I'm so happy to hear from you. And ding, ding, ding. I'm happy I was right that you're back.
Wow.
I like being right about a lot of things, but I really like being right about that.
And you always wonder, where are they now? And we just found out.
Yeah. That was a few, but that was a true, millions and millions of dollars lost. A real scam. So the last lie, changing the subject, about millionaires that is told is they all inherit their money. Factually, not true.
There are no trust funds involved today.
No, some do inherit money. They all hit the lotto. Factually, not true. Now, by facts, I mean actual data, not theory. Not my opinion, not your opinion, not a feeling you had, not your Marxist teacher from college, but the real world is of the largest study, airtight research. The research technique is so squeaky clean, no confirmation bias, had double looks on it. Our team was running one set of programs. The outside team was running another set of programs to make sure we weren't accidentally stumbling into conclusions that we thought. Very good research. And so to the point that if you don't agree with the net discoveries of this research on this solid data, you're what's known as wrong.
That's scientific.
There we go. It's that solid. So 79% of the millionaires that we talked to inherited precisely zero. Another 5% did get an inheritance, but it was like $5,000 from grandmother. And it was not enough mathematically to make you a millionaire. And another 5% got a substantial inheritance like Donna did earlier in the hour. 66 years old, received a $100,000 inheritance after they were already millionaires. So it's hard to say that the inheritance caused her to be a millionaire because it came after she was already a millionaire. So 79, nothing, 5, a little bit, 5 after already, 79, 5, and 5 is 89, okay? That's 9 out of 10 of America's millionaires are first-generation rich. So don't let the hope stealers, the crazy leftists, tell you that America is so broken that you can't get ahead today. There's always been challenges. There's always been problems. There will always be isms. There will always be idiots in your way. Count on it, but you can do it. Don't let people tell you can't do it. And that's the whole theme of this hour, and for that matter, of everything we do at Ramsey. You can do it.
And I love how boring this is. I mean, you heard the mixes of these numbers. It's mostly people's primary homes and their retirement accounts, and then some cash position.
There was no flash.
But I didn't hear any like crypto. No one hit the right single stock. There wasn't the right investment opportunity, except for a scam. And so that gives me hope that anyone can do this. Invest 15% of your income into retirement. Pay off your house early. It's that simple, and it's that boring, and it's that hopeful.
And that gets you the first 1 to 5 million, maybe even 10 million. Donna got to 9, but Donna's got some real estate in there. And but there was nothing fancy in any of this. No double backflip family trust partnerships, which, by the way, don't exist. But the secrets of the rich are that they're boring. That's the secret.
The secret is believe the boring advice.
Good show, guys. Well done, Austin, Ben, James, Zach, Andrew, Bob, everybody in the booth dudes. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.